The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, reading chapter 6 test. Subtopic for today, the role of quality and design in an MVP. One of the most vexing aspects of the minimum viable product is the challenge it poses to traditional notions of quality. The best professionals and craftsmen alike aspire to build quality products. It is a point of pride. Modern production processes rely on high quality as a way to boost efficiency. They operate using W. Edwards Deming's famous dictum that the customer is the most important part of the production process. This means that we must focus our energies exclusively on producing outcomes that the customer perceives as valuable. Allowing sloppy work into a process inevitably leads to excessive variation. Variation is a process yielding products variation in process yielding products of varying quality in the eyes of the customer that at best require rework and at worst lead to a lost customer. Most modern business and engineering philosophies focus on producing high quality experiences for customers as a primary principle. It is the foundation of Six Sigma, lean manufacturing, design thinking, extreme programming, and the software craftsmanship movement. These discussions of quality presuppose that the company already knows what attributes of the product that customer will perceive as worthwhile. In a startup, this is a risky assumption to make. Often, we are not even sure who the customer is. Thus, for startups, I believe in the following quality principle. If we do not know who the customer is, we do not know what quality is. Even a low quality MVP can act as a service of building a great high quality product. Yes, MVPs sometimes are perceived as low quality by customers. If so, we should use this as an opportunity to learn what attributes customer care about. This is infinitely better than mere speculation or whiteboard strategizing because it provides a solid empirical foundation on which to build future products. Sometimes, however, customers react quite differently. Many famous products were released in a low quality state and customers loved them. Imagine if Craig Newmark, in the early days of Craigslist, had refused to publish his humble email newsletter because it lacked sufficient high design. What if the founders of Groupon had felt two pizzas for the price of one was beneath them? I have had many similar experiences. In the early days of IMVU, our avatar were locked in one place, unable to move around the screen. The reason? We were building an MVP and had not yet tackled the difficult task of creating the technology that would allow avatars to walk around the virtual environments they inhabit. In the video game industry, the standard is that 3D avatars should move fluidly as they walk, avoid obstacles in their path, and take an intelligent route towards their destination. Famous best-selling games such as Electronics Arts, The Sims work on this principle. We didn't want to ship a low-quality version of this feature, so we opted instead to ship with stationary avatars. Feedback from the customers was very consistent. They wanted the ability to move their avatars around the environment. We took this as bad news because it meant we would have to spend considerable amount of time and money on high quality solution similar to The Sims. But before we committed ourselves to that path, we decided to try another MVP. We used a simple hack, which felt almost like cheating. We changed the product so that customers could click where they wanted their avatar to go, and the avatar would teleport there instantly. No walking, no obstacle avoidance. The avatar disappeared and then reappeared an instant later in the new place. We couldn't even afford fancy teleportation, graphics, or sound effects. We felt lame shipping this feature, but it was all we could afford. You can imagine our surprise when we started to get positive customer feedback. We never asked about the movement feature directly, but when asked to name the top things about IMBU they liked best, customer consistently listed avatar teleportation among the top three. This inexpensive compromise outperformed many features of the product we were most proud of, features that had taken much more time and money to produce. Customers don't care how much time something takes to build. They care only if it serves their needs. Our customers preferred the quick teleportation feature because it allowed them to get where they wanted to go as fast as possible. In retrospect, that makes sense. Wouldn't we all like to get wherever we are going in an instant? No lines, no hours on a plane or sitting in a tarmac, no connection, no cabs or subways. Beam me up, Scotty. Our our expensive real world approach was beaten handily by a cool fantasy world feature that cost much less, but that our customers preferred. So, which version of the product is low quality? Again, MVPs require the courage to put one's assumption to the test. If customers react the way we expect, we can take that confirmation that our assumptions are correct. If we release a poorly designed product and customers cannot figure out how to use it, that will confirm our need to invest in superior design. But we must always ask, what if they don't care about design in the same way we do? Thus, the lean startup method is not opposed to building high quality products, but only in service of goal of winning over customers. We must be willing to set aside our traditional professional standards to start the process of validating learning as soon as possible. But once again, this does not mean operating in a sloppy and undisciplined way. There is a category of quality problems that have net effect of slowing down the build, measure, learn feedback loop. Defects make it more difficult to evolve the product. They actually interfere with our ability to learn and so are dangerous to tolerate in the production process. We will consider methods for figuring out when to make investments in preventing these kind of problems in part 3. As you consider building your own minimum viable product, let this simple rule suffice. Remove any feature, process, or effort that does not contribute directly to the learning you seek. Thank you for listening to the Lean Startup. You can buy the book using the link in the description. I will continue to read tomorrow.